Iya, ya. Okay, thanks you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Well, I want host. I want co-host Mr. tonight. My student is plus Mart University voting white in meeting room. I will co-host Mr. tonight. Mahasiswa dari Wendia sudah join, Mbak Nadia? Ada yang join?
Ya, sudah ada.
Nggak ada. Oke.
Kalau apa yang dulu, if you are there, I'm sorry for the waiting. Start the clock.
Open meeting room.
Maybe the students can open the camera or at least answer Prof. Rahma question first to know that they are not in sleep mode from.
Saya belum co-host. Kalau sudah co-host bisa tak open.
Oke, Prof. Rahma sampun jadi host sudah bisa. Oh, enggak. Belum masih di sektor CMS the
Sepertinya sudah pada masuk ya. Sudah 70 lebih.
sampai 8
Sudah Mbak, ketuanya sudah masuk. Eh, bisa kita mulai ya. How is that presentation? Oke, Mbak Nadia bisa share screen PPT ya.
Oke, nah sama Prof saya juga belum host, jadi belum bisa share screen.
Suara saya bisa terdengar.
Terdengar Prof, saya bisa dengar suara Prof. Cuma karena saya
Baterai
belum
slow.
bisa share screen.
Yang PPT-nya dari Mbak, sudah saya share Mbak Adeng.
Ya ampun, cuma saya belum jadi host Prof, jadi saya belum bisa share screen.
Oh, iya, iya, iya. Please share screen ya.
Oke, saya coba.
Dan share screen.
Prof Rahmat bisa share screen belum? Kalau secara status sepertinya Prof Rahmat juga bukan host. Saya coba ukur. Oke.
Asistennya Mbak Saista. Halo Saista. Nggak ada
Nah, bisa ya
Saista.
Prof?
Dari Brunei mahasiswa Saista. No, no.
Bisa ayu there, ayu
Suaramu kurang jelas. Saista belum join.
Kak Insta belum join.
Saya yang share screen apa Mbak Madia? Saya sudah bisa share screen. Saya
Dari
beri.
Prof Rahmat belum
Oh
bisa
iya
share
ya.
screen.
Nanti saya apa?
Kalau Prof bisa atau
Oh saya. Saya buka dulu. Oke. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah. Madam Nadia will present about earning per share. Uh, chapter 80 about earnings per share. Yeah. How about earning per size? ERS 33 basic APS effect on APS of change in capital structure, diluted EPS, presentation, penyajiannya, disclosure, pengungkapannya, and other matter. Oke, please Mbak Nadia, you present syllabus learning outcome. So,
Okay, thank you, Prof. Rahmat.
yeah.
Well, good afternoon, students. I wish that you are in a very good student, very good condition. Sorry. Well, actually, we are going to study about earning per share, or we can say EPS for the short. And in the syllabus, we know that. Let's look at our objective first.
Oke, nggak dengar suaranya.
Sorry, Prof. Saya kelempar. Sebentar, saya mulai join ulang.
Ya, ya.
Oke, mungkin saya bisa lanjutkan lewat handphone ya. Mohon izin saya off cam. Untuk di silabus awal. Oke, in the summary diagram. Okay, before I explain about the summary diagram, the objective of the study today that you guys should be able to explain why the trend of EPS is often a more accurate indicator of a company's performance. We can compare it by the trend of its total profit. So we will also discuss as the significance of EPS as a key stock market indicator, and just as importantly, we can recognize that the limitation of relying solely on EPS as the performance measures. Well, on the summary diagram, this diagram provides a roadmap where we can start with the fundamental basic EPS calculation, and then we can move into how the capital changes or the equity share of the capital changes, specifically through the full market price issue. Like price issue, then there is bonus issue, and also the right issue, which three of them require adjustment. So later we will explore the diluted EPS, which considers potential future shares from convertible debt or share options. And finally, we can do some evaluation, the measure overall the limitation. Professor, okay. For the overview, we can know that what exactly the EPS is. Simply, EPS is discussing about a ratio that measures the amount of profit that a company has earned for every single ordinary share currently in issue. So the main objective of the international standard, which discussed in IAS 33, is to ensure that all companies use a consistent method for this calculation. So you guys can do the vital thing, which consistent because it allows the investor to compare the performance of different entities within the same period. Or you can also doing some track for the performance of a single entity over several years. Okay, now for the scope of IAS, okay, for ESPN, oh yeah, I already joined again in the laptop.
Next.
Oke, Prof, saya izin yang share screen saja supaya lebih mudah ya.
Mana?
Baik, let me continue about the scope. We already see at this one. Okay,
Calculation.
this one. The scope of IAS 33, as we discussed, that EPS is arranged in IAS 33. It's important also for you guys to understand who the standard actually applies to, because IAS 33 is a mandatory for companies whose past ordinary shares are publicly traded. So including those currently in the process of being listed on a stock exchange. Meanwhile, the private companies are strictly required to follow it if they choose to present EPS information. So the company actually have to do in accordance with the standard. And furthermore, EPS should be presented based on consolidated results when a parent company prepares group financial statement. Yeah. Okay. Next for the basic. Okay, we have the basic EPS calculation. You can just look at the formula here. It is a very basic earning per share figure, which should be calculated as follows. There are only two components here. The first one is the profit or loss for the period attributable to ordinary shareholders, which means as the primary objective of IAS 33 is to ensure that all companies, sorry. Okay, so actually we can take the profit of loss, like I said before, and it is divided by the weighted average number of ordinary shares in issue during the period. Now, when we say profit attributable to ordinary shareholders, we are now referring to the consolidated profit after we have deducted the income tax, then the NCI or non-controlling interest, and also the any dividends owed to preference shareholders. Okay, let us look at the effect changes. Well, when we do calculate the EPS, can becoming more complex when the number of share changes will change during the year. So simply we can say that if a company issues more shares, it will receive more resources which are expected to generate higher returns. Therefore, any change in the number of ordinary shares during the period will directly impact our EPS calculation. We must account for the timing of these changes. Okay, so let's check on this one.
Illustration.
About this, yeah. When we are issuing the share, there are three common ways when a company changes its capital structure, which each of them is treated differently. First, when we have the full market price, we can use the weighted average of the calculation. And second, when we have the bonus issue, we can apply the retrospectively using a bonus fraction. And lastly, when we have the right issue, we can essentially do a hybrid. We can treat them as a full price issue followed immediately by a bonus issue. Now we can look at the illustration. Okay, the illustration here discussing about a company which has a profit of 100,000 for the year ending in December 20. It doesn't mention the year, right? So they started with 600,000 shares, but on October 1st, they issued an additional 300,000 shares at the market price. So the key here is that the new capital was only available to the company for the last 3 months of the year. Okay, so we can calculate the EPS. Okay, simply we can use, we cannot use the total of 900,000 shares because we have to calculate the weighted average first, like we discussed before. And for the first 9 months, beginning at January to September, we have 600,000 shares. And the final 3 months from October to December, we have 900,000 shares. So when we weight this by time, we get a weighted average of 675,000 shares, which means this can reflect that the actual resources available to the company during the period. Okay, so what if we apply that simple formula? We know that the profit is 100,000, then we can do divided by our weighted average, which is 675,000 shares. So this gives us a basic EPS of 14.8 cents per share.
Yeah.
Okay. To give you a note that because these shares were issued at full price, we do not need to restate the comparative EPS from the previous year, as the change in shares was matched by corresponding change in resources. Okay, that's for the first weighted average calculation. So the next we will discuss about the bonus issues of share. Okay, moving to the bonus issue. Unlike the previous example, bonus issue doesn't bring in a new cash. It is simply the capitalization of reserves. Since there is no new resources, the company's earning capacity has not changed. So we can do some insurement. We can ensure that the EPS remains comparable. We know that we can treat the bonus shares as if they have always been in issue from the start of the earliest period reported. Okay, let's see to adjust the calculation. We can use the bonus fraction. So the fraction here is the number of shares after the issue divided by the number of shares before the issue. Well, we can see in the fraction, this one is applied to the weighted average number of shares for the current year, and it's also used to restate the comparative EPS for the previous year. So the trend is not distorted by the increased number of shares. Okay, we can check again in the second illustration, which the company had. I'm sorry, let me check first. Okay, it's fine. Okay, here as it stands, it looks like company has not performed as well in the previous year. So in the previous year, every share you own would have earned you 20 cents of profit, whereas this have fallen to 10 cents in the next year. Okay, to fix this, we can apply the bonus fraction with 2/1. Okay, this one. So the EPS for the previous year is calculated using the full of 1 million shares, which resulting in 10 cents. Okay, then we can do a restatement. We can restate the 20 or the previous year EPS by taking the original 20 cents and multiplying it by the reciprocal of the fraction, which is a half, which also can give us 10 cents. So now the shareholder can see that the performance is actually stable, right? But the drop in EPS was purely due to the bonus issue. Okay, Next, for the right issue of the shares, let's discuss that this is more complex because it contains an element of the full price issue, which the element of bonus issue, as the shares are usually offered a discount. So because the bonus element, we have to do adjustment both in the current year's share and restate the previous year's EPS. Okay, let's see for the theoretical X, right. Okay, the first step in a right issue, that we have to calculate this one, theoretical X right price, or we can say TERP. Okay, the formula is the actual from right price, which is the market price just before the right issue. Then we can divide it by the theoretical X right price. So you can see that the fraction is applied to the number of shares in issue prior to the right issue to account for the bonus element inherent in the discount. Okay, first we can do calculating the TERP. There is the easiest way, that suppose a company offers 1,444 rights issue at 6.5, while the market price is only $10. So we can put 4 shares at $10, which means 40, plus 1 new share at 6.5. So it can give us a total value of 46 and 5, 46.5 for 5 shares. Okay, so when we dividing 46.5 by 5, it can give us a TERP of 9.30, 9.3. And this 9.3 actually is the price that we can use to determine our adjustment fraction for the EPS calculation. Okay, so we are now having the TERP, and we can now calculate the EPS for the next year. For the first 9 months, we can take the original of 400,000 shares and multiply them by the adjustment fraction, which is 10 divided by 9.3, or 10 per 9.3. And for the last 3 months, we can use the total with 500,000 shares. So we can sum them, or these weighted figures, then we can get 400. Okay, wait. We can get 453. Okay, so next, when we are discussing about diluted EPS, it is a very important concept, right, about diluted EPS, because the basic EPS looks at the past, diluted EPS looks at the future, and it is a warning when shareholders want to know what the EPS would be if all potential ordinary shares like convertible bonds or options were actually converted into shares today. So we can see that it shows the maximum potential dilution of their earnings. So what counts as the next? Okay, this one is what? Okay, this one. the logic for diluted EPS is, what if this instrument were converted at the beginning of the year? So if converted, there's two things happen. First, the number of shares increase as the denominator. And the second, the company will save money because it no longer pays interest or dividend on those instruments or denominator. So we can do adjustment both in the earning and the number of shares to reflect this what if scenario. Okay, next for the convertible debt. When you have a debt that is converted into shares, the company will save the interest expense. However, because the interest is tax deductible, the actual saving for the company is the interest expense net of tax. So we can add this saved amount back to the profit and add the new potential shares to the denominator to find the diluted figure. Okay, this one about the number of shares, which the calculation we can take from the basic weighted average number of shares, then add the share count conversion, and we can get the diluted weighted average number of shares. Okay, so the options are slightly different. When employees exercise option, they can do a pay cash to the company, but usually at the price below market value. IAS 33 will treat this as if the company issued some shares at full price, which is not dilutive. So for some share, we can do it for free, or it can be counted as the bonus element. Only for the free or the bonus element is added to the number of shares, which can make the diluted EPS calculation. Okay, actually there's illustration here, but there's no number. So I will tell you about this one. Okay, I will tell you about the dilutive versus anti-dilutive. Okay, there's a critic rule in IAS 33 that we only report diluted EPS if it is actually dilutive. So it means that it makes the EPS will be lower or the loss per share higher. And if a conversation would actually increase the EPS known as anti-dilutive, we can ignore it and only report the basic EPS. So we must always report the worst case scenario for the shareholder. Okay. Then for presentation requirements, as we know about the recording presentation, the companies must display the basic and the diluted EPS in the face of the statement of profit or loss with equal prominence. So this must be done for every period presented, even if the figures are negative or a loss per share. They must still be disclosed very early, very clearly. I mean, okay. So the disclosure requirements, in the notes of the financial statement, companies must disclose that the amounts used as the numerator, which is the profit, and the weighted average number of shares, which used as the denominator. We have to explain any instrument that could potentially dilute earnings in the future that were not included because they were anti-dilutive in the current period. So the limitation of EPS, to wrap up for all the discussion of us today, we have to remember about limitation. You know that EPS can be manipulated by changing accounting policies like depreciation, right? So EPS does not consider to the inflation or the current value of asset. And the most important thing that it is a historical measure. So it tells us what happened before, but it cannot give us the guarantee for the future performance. Okay, well, that's all for our material about the EPS. In conclusion, we can conclude that EPS actually is a vital tool for investor to assess profitability on a per share. Okay, on per share basis by understanding a basic and diluted EPS. So we can better evaluate a company's true value and the potential risk of the future share issues. Well, that's all for me about the EPS. Thank you for your time, guys. And maybe we can discuss, or how is it, Prof. Rahma? Actually, we already finished the material. Maybe any discussion from you guys? Prof. Rahma, are you there?
Diluted EPS sudah?
Sambung.
Ya. Significancy of EPS.
Sambung, bro.
A summary of chapter earning per share calculation, diluted earning per share calculation, about right share and option share, and then presentation and disclosure. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you can add some points for the insight to the student.
Yeah. Student and 11 Maret University. Ada pertanyaan mungkin cara menghitungnya ini? Okay. Okay. Any question, my student? Right.
No questions so far.
Okay, very clear statement, yeah, bro. No questions so far. Maybe the others, if you have any discussion about the EPS, or you have faced like the thing that you know the EPS is very sensitive.
About diluted? This is exercise. Ada latihan, Mbak. Silakan mahasiswa untuk bisa mengerjakan. Wow. question 3.
Oke. Maaf, silakan, Prof.
Example, weighted average number of shares. Justina and Co. A listed company has the following share transacted during 2007. Please you focus date ya. 1 Januari, 31 Mei, 31 Desember. Balance at beginning of the year, issues of new share for cash, and 31 Desember, balance at year end. Please you calculate the weighted average number of shares outstanding for this year, 2007. Nah, mungkin di-share-kan kalau sudah selesai mengerjakan, ada yang bisa menjawab, Mbak Nadia.
Oke, teman-teman silakan coba dikerjakan dulu ya. Nanti kita bahas. Ini masih yang tadi yang pertama banget terkait weighted average number of shares.
Weighted average number of shares, jadi jumlah saham rata-rata tertimbang weighted ya, selama tahun 2007.
Anyone finish the question?
Nanti absennya kalau di
Mungkin
UNS lewat
dipandu sedikit,
OTW.
Prof.
Ya. Ya, silakan di sampel.
Okay. Is there any volunteer will answer the question here?
From UTP or 11 Maret University? Please, your answer. Di random aja, Mbak Nadia.
Okay, I will pick.
Yang bisa menjawab mendapatkan poin.
a star from Prof. Rahma loh, guys. Anyone, please? Maybe Alia, you can help answering this. Alia, are you there?
Saifullah,
Oh,
Saifullah,
Zulkarnain? No. Saifullah?
salah nggak apa-apa. You read presentation slide nomor berapa, Mbak? About WTT break.
In the beginning, Prof. Wait, let me check.
Safira Indah Ramadhani, Siti
Okay, in slide
Alfi Sofia,
11, 11.
Siti Farhana from UTB. Mohon yang dari UNS namanya dikasih UNS itu. Zara, Salsabila, Ian Benedik, kalian saya absen ya. Ihsan, Ilham, Indriana, Jaida, Ziawi, Ma'ruf, Ilham Latif, Nadia, Amalia, Amorita, Mbak Amorita. Ya, Mbak Nadia bisa mati penjelasannya. This is solution.
Okay, Prof.
Mau dijelaskan mau.
Okay, so for the solution of the question here, we know that from January,
Tanggalnya diperhatikan.
ya, tanggal 1 Januari sampai tanggal 31 Mei. Oke, itu kan proses terjadi issuing tanggal 31 Mei. Artinya 170.000 saham itu beredar selama 1 Januari sampai 31 Mei. Berarti kan itu 5 bulan ya kalau kita hitung Januari, Februari, Maret, April, dan Mei. 170.000 dari saham yang beredar dikalikan dengan lama bulannya. Jadi 5/12. Terus termasuk yang sisanya. Oke, Asmina sudah menjawab tuh, Prof.
Jadi ada
216.000.
dua cara.
Hmm. Oke, saya lanjutkan yang cara saya dulu ya, Prof. Ya, gampang.
Jadi berdasarkan logika lebih bagus yang A ya, cara pertama. Jadi
Ya,
yang beredar 170.000, 5 bulan. Jadi 5/12.
jelas.
Kemudian yang beredar 250.000 itu 7. Ya. Jadi Juni, Juli, Agustus, September, Oktober, November,
No.
Desember. Nah, jadi 250 selama 7 bulan 7/12. Ya. Jadi ketemu
Yes.
216, 666. Ya.
Oke. Mungkin Prof. Rahma bisa kasih poin untuk Asmina karena sudah menjawab dengan benar.
Ya, lebih mudah secara logikanya. Kayak yang
Betul.
question berikutnya, Mbak. Dibacakan dulu.
Baik. For the next question, ada Flamco is a company with a called up and paid up capital of 100,000 ordinary shares of $1 each and 20,000 for the 10% redeemable preference shares of $1 for each. Okay, so the company manufactures gas appliances. And during its financial year to 31st December to the company had to pay $50,000 compensation and costs arising from an uninsured claim for personal injuries suffered by a customer while on the company premise. Then the gross profit was $200,000. So here the Flameco paid the required preference share dividend and declared an ordinary dividend of 42 cents per share. Assuming that the income tax rate of 30% on the given figures show the trading results and EPS of the company. Okay, guys, you can start doing the question number 2, yeah.
So the trading result and EPS of the company. Dengan asumsi pajak penghasilannya 30%. Disuruh menghitung EPS.
Oke, kalau rumus IPS-nya sendiri kan pertama tadi ya laba bersih untuk saham biasa dibagi dengan jumlah saham biasa yang beredar. Berarti kita cari masing-masing komponennya dulu.
Ya. Mbak Abigail ada ketua kelas analisis laporan keuangan. Rara nanti ada absensi. Alfi Sofi, Putmel,
Hadir, Prof.
ya. Ya silakan dicoba Mbak. Jawabannya ini gimana Mbak? Yang ikut kelas analisis informasi keuangan. Rp100.000 saham biasa. Ya. Harga $1. Dan 20.000 dengan tingkat bunganya 10%. Lama tahun itu ya 31 Desember membayar 50.000 kompensasi. Laba kotornya 200.000. Dan ada pengumuman dividen. Ordinary dividen 42 per lembar. Berapa earning per share-nya?
1,03, Prof.
Oke. Oke, Mbak siapa tadi?
Putmel, Prof.
Ya, Mbak Putri Amel ya. Oke, Oke, Mbak Nadia dijelaskan.
Oke, yang pertama kan kita tadi harus nyari laba bersih setelah pajaknya dulu ya. Maka teman-teman bisa
Jadi laba
dihitung pertama ada
kotornya
gross
200.000.
ya,
Eh,
laba
kemudian
kotornya
biayanya
200.000.
itu apa dividennya itu 1.000 ditambah
Ya,
2.000
ada
ya. Preferen laba sebelum pajaknya jadi 148.000. Pajaknya 30%. Jadi laba periode yang bersangkutan 103.600 dibagi 100.000. Jadi 100.000 dari soal yang ini. Ordinary share 100.000. Ketemu 103,6. Question 5. Sample and express with a new issue. With new issue. Jadi ada tanggal 30 September, full market price 1 juta lembar saham. 1 Januari sampai 31 Desember. Informasinya, oh ternyata 31 Desember 2001-2002 mengalami kenaikan. Ya. Kemudian laba setelah pajak dan pembayaran dividen saham preferen mengalami kenaikan. Hitunglah EPS tahun 2002 dan gambaran dari corresponding figurnya ya, tahun 2001. Ada yang sudah selesai Mbak Nadia?
Oke, ada yang bisa jawab untuk soal nomor 5
Dari Brunei.
terkait IPS jika ada. Azuza udah ada jawabannya belum? Atau Asmina? Okay, there's the answer that the answer is 40 cent.
Yeah. Ya, 40 sen. 2002,
40 cent.
2001, 41 sen. Jadi dicari weighted average-nya dulu. Ya. Ini 8 juta kali 9/12. Kemudian yang 9 juta kali 3/12. Ya. Ini 30 September ya. September, Oktober, November, Desember. Ya. Labanya 2002 3,3, 2001 3,280. Ya. Kemudian dibagi jumlah lembarnya. Ya. Hmm. Ada yang bertanya? Oke, Mbak
Ya,
Aziz.
mungkin ada yang mau didiskusikan, silakan teman-teman.
Okay, the last question. Okay. Okay. Ya, saya kira cukup untuk ini. Silakan ditutup, Mbak Nadia.
Oke. Baik, terima kasih Prof. Rahma sudah mendampingi kami pada mata kuliah hari ini, khususnya membahas tentang earning per share, sampai termasuk tadi ya pembahasan soalnya. Insya Allah berguna untuk teman-teman semua. Silakan lakukan review ulang untuk materi hari ini. Jadi ke depannya teman-teman bisa lebih paham terkait materinya. Begitu, terima kasih. Good afternoon all. Hopefully you have a great
Foto dulu.
weekend.
Ya.
Thank you. Oh yeah, thank you for the participation. Let's take a photo.
Take a
Can
picture.
you
Take a
let's
picture.
take a
Open
picture?
your video.
Yes.
Take a
Please open the
picture. Open
camera.
your
Show your
video
beauty face.
untuk laporan. Ya.
Yeah.
Mbak Putri, Amelia, Aprilia. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Silakan Mbak Nadia juga foto untuk laporan.
Oh yeah. Nah,
Mbak Alfia Cahayanti, Isna, Mbak Isna, Kuenit Najwa, Salsabila, Asmina, Siti Farhana from UTB, one, two, three, Farisa, Safira, Nisa Novia, Nadia, from UTB, Siti Farhana, Nur Hajika Ismail from UTB. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Asmina, Zaswana from UTB. Arulisa Putri, Rokan, Pas. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Mbak Nadia and Mr. Junaid. Bisa kita akhiri join kelas pada hari ini. Semoga bermanfaat. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tunggu absen OCW-nya saya
Terima kasih,
buat
Bu.
ya. Oke.
Waalaikumsalam,
Please
Ibu. Terima
greeting.
kasih banyak, Bu.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih, Prof.
Terima kasih, Prof.
Terima kasih, Prof. Terima kasih, Prof. Terima kasih.